Thank you for watching Virtual Home Manners videos. This video is in reference to house training. So there's not a lot of skill to be shown for this. This is more of you letting us know where things are at, what you're doing for this. So let me kind of give you an example and kind of options or things like that, things people might have done. So for Copper, who currently is MIA, we got Copper when he was about 6.5 weeks old. So depending on breeders and everything else, most wait till 8. So Copper, we got him a little young. He started out really, really good, but we did not paper train him in the house. Some people like to do that and then work them outside. He went straight outside. So basically anytime he would wake up from sleeping, after playing, and after eating, automatically went outside. Wait till they give them time, walk them around, give them time to go. When they go, reward them. That's what we did. When we took him out, we do not have a fenced in yard. We live out kind of in a somewhat rural area. We had probably about a 20-foot clothesline attached to his collar. Basically kind of like a leash. It had a hook on it like a leash. So when he went outside, we started walking the perimeter of our yard right away. So in essence, to get him trained as to what our yard was, because we do not have the fence and we do not have an invisible fence. So in essence, we wanted him to know what our yard was, where his boundaries were going to be. So anytime he went outside, my husband or myself, he was walked in that particular. It was usually once or twice when he went outside. We did that with him. But that was kind of a daily routine. When he went out to play, we would play with him out there. But in general, when he went out to do his business, he went out to do his business. The other thing too is sometimes puppies, you'll notice all of a sudden they're starting to run in a circle. Take them out. With Teddy, let me backtrack to Copper. Copper was about 10 pounds, and based on age, we started about every hour. So we had a schedule with Copper. It was about an hour, and then we noticed that, okay, we started pushing maybe an hour and a half. It grew, and as time grew, we could do that. The other thing we did was put bells on the back door. So when we would go, and before we went outside, we'd ring the bell in hopes that maybe he would ring the bell to go outside. Some dogs take onto it, some dogs do not. Copper did not. He did initially, but then he stopped. So we still have the bells there in hopes that maybe someday he might. He now barks. He'll sit back there and he'll bark when he wants to go. But so that was our training with Copper. With Teddy, we got him, he was about 15 weeks old, and he did have Copper to follow. Teddy was about 2 pounds, and he's a lot smaller. He needs to go out a little bit more often, and he was more like a baby. And when you haven't had a puppy for quite some time, granted Copper was a little bit younger, and bigger dogs are a little bit different than little dogs. So your schedule is a little different. But Teddy too went outside. I did not use a leash with Teddy when I went outside because of him being smaller, although he did listen and come right away with me. And there are times though that I think the first 2 weeks I didn't use a leash and a collar, but after that, then he also too went on a longer line. So I think the first 2 weeks I had him, then after that, he went on a line just to keep tabs on him to make sure he would come and that we could reach him just in case he decided to take off. And he too was perimeter. We walked the perimeter to a point so he could understand where his perimeter was. And then we started ringing the bell. However, Teddy does not like loud noises, and he did not take to the bell as well. He now too just barks to go out. Um, Now I live in a house and I am able to take my dogs outside. They're depending on your living situation or on how you decide to do this. Some people, if you're in an apartment, you're on the 20th floor, you may decide, and depending on the type of dog you have, a dog like Teddy and some other small dogs, you can litter train your dog. You can pad train your dog. However you decide to do it, that is your choice. And however you choose to train your dog, that is your choice. You just have to let us know how you're deciding to train your dog. So in essence, that is kind of the house training, and just kind of letting us know. I just kind of gave you an example. There's really no wrong way. The other thing with Teddy, and they kind of talk about it, is if you take your dog outside, or even if you decide to indoor train your dog, like with litter training, is the one unique thing with Teddy is we can take him outside, and when we were training him and everything else, because he was a little harder to train, I will say that Teddy was a little harder to house break. There was a part where we got better and then we got worse. We go outside, and my husband, we used to tell him to go potty, but then all of a sudden my husband decided to change the word and told him to go pee-pee. So now Teddy, when you take him outside, if you tell him to go pee-pee, he goes on command. So be careful the words you choose, and if you're consistent with what you say, because he does. If I go outside with him and I tell him to go, he'll run around and he'll go. So just be cautious and just cognizant of what you're saying, because with what you pick up, they do catch on. And like I said, Teddy, if you tell him to go pee-pee, he'll go pee-pee on command. So that is something. If you can get your dog to go on command, you can technically show us that your dog goes to the bathroom on command. But that's not necessary. But it's just something that some people can do, and Teddy happens to be one of those that does go on command. So, but in general, housebreaking and house training is just something that you would basically tell us about, where you're at, how things are going on it, or if your dog's already housebroken, just how you achieved it and the parts that you've done to do it. So that's basically house training. Again, thank you again for watching our videos. We invite you to reach out to us if there are any questions or concerns to Mary Lou Mader or myself. Thank you again for watching.